Hi, I'm Yusuf. I've lived in this quiet suburban neighborhood for about 5 years now, and honestly, it's been pretty great. Well, it was great until my neighbor decided to make it his personal mission to ruin my life over some tomato plants. Morning, Yusuf, Mrs. Chen called from her porch as I watered my front garden one Saturday morning. Good morning, Mrs. Chen. How's your back feeling? I asked, adjusting the hose. Much better, thank you for asking. Those vegetables are coming in nicely. Are those heirloom tomatoes? They are, plus some peppers and herbs. I'm hoping to have enough to share with the neighborhood by August. That's wonderful. Unlike some people around here, you actually contribute to the community, she said, glancing pointedly at the house next door. That house belonged to Derek Paulson. He'd moved in about 6 months ago, and from day one, he'd been difficult. Everything bothered him. Kids playing too loud, cars parked slightly over property lines, you name it. Has he been giving you trouble too? I asked Mrs. Chen. Last week he complained about my wind chimes, said they were disturbing his peace. Before I could respond, Derek himself came storming out of his house, phone in hand. Yusuf, we need to talk right now. Good morning to you too, Derek. What's the problem? The problem? The problem is that garden of yours. It's an eyesore, and it's probably violating about a dozen city codes. I laughed, thinking he was joking. Derek, it's vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, some basil. What's the issue? The issue is property values, Yusuf. This is a nice neighborhood. We don't need it looking like some kind of farm. Mrs. Chen stepped down from her porch. Derek, those plants are beautiful. They're not bothering anyone. I wasn't talking to you, Linda, Derek snapped. And frankly, your opinion doesn't matter. I've already filed a complaint with the city. My stomach dropped. You did what? You heard me. Someone needs to maintain standards around here. I'm sure when the inspector comes, they'll find all sorts of violations. Derek, there's nothing illegal about growing vegetables in my front yard. I checked the ordinances before I planted anything. We'll see about that. I've got connections at City Hall. My brother-in-law works in code enforcement. So you're using family connections to harass your neighbor over tomato plants? Mrs. Chen asked, disgusted. I'm protecting my investment. This house cost me $400,000. I'm not watching that value drop because my neighbor wants to play farmer. I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Derek, if you have concerns about my property, we can discuss them like adults. But filing complaints and threatening me isn't going to. I'm done discussing anything with you. The complaint is filed. Deal with it. He turned and walked back toward his house. Wait, Derek, I called after him. Is there anything I can do to address your concerns? He stopped and turned around, a smirk on his face. Yeah, there is. Rip out every single plant and put down some nice normal grass like everyone else. Then maybe I'll consider dropping the complaint. That's completely unreasonable. I've invested time and money into this garden. Not my problem, Yusuf. You've got until the inspector shows up to make it right. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with fines, maybe even a court order. This is insane, Mrs. Chen muttered. Derek pointed at her. You stay out of this, Linda, unless you want me looking into your property too. With that, he went inside and slammed his door. I stood there, hose still running, completely stunned. Mrs. Chen came over and put her hand on my shoulder. Yusuf, that man is poison. You need to be careful. I just don't understand. Why is he doing this? Some people are just miserable, honey, and miserable people love making others miserable too. 2 days later, I got the notice. City code enforcement was coming to inspect my property for potential violations of residential zoning ordinances. The inspection was scheduled for the following week. I called my friend Marcus, who's a real estate attorney. Marcus, I need some advice. My neighbor reported my vegetable garden to the city. Your vegetable garden? Yusuf, that's completely legal. What's his problem? He says it's lowering his property values. He wants me to rip everything out. That's ridiculous. Look, I'll send you the exact ordinance language. As long as you're not running a commercial operation, you're fine. Your neighbor's just being a jerk. He said his brother-in-law works in code enforcement. I'm worried he's going to use that connection to cause problems. Even if he does, you've got the law on your side. Document everything. Take photos of your garden. Keep all your receipts. If they try to fine you illegally, we'll fight it. Thanks, Marcus. I really appreciate it. No problem. Hey, while you're dealing with this, maybe take a closer look at your neighbor's property. Guys who are that eager to report others usually have something to hide themselves. I hadn't thought about that. But Marcus had a point. The next morning, I was having coffee on my porch when my other neighbor James came over. Yusuf, I heard about Derek's complaint. That's messed up, man. Tell me about it. I'm just trying to grow some vegetables. Yeah, well, he's been a nightmare since he moved in, always complaining about something. James paused, looking uncomfortable. Look, I probably shouldn't say anything, but have you noticed his back addition? The sunroom? Yeah, it looks nice. Did you see any permits posted during construction? I thought about it. No, actually, I didn't. That's because there weren't any. I know because I'm friends with a contractor. He mentioned that Derek's addition was done without permits, said Derek was bragging about saving money by skipping the whole permit process. My heart started racing. Are you sure about this? Positive. The contractor said Derek's addition is probably 200 square feet. You're supposed to get permits for anything over 120. Plus, I'm pretty sure it encroaches on the setback requirements. James, this is important. Would your contractor friend be willing to talk about this? Maybe. But Yusuf, are you sure you want to go down this road? Derek seems like the type to escalate things. I looked at my garden, at all the work I'd put into it, at the tomatoes just starting to ripen. Then I looked at Derek's house, at his illegal addition that he'd built, while planning to use his connections to destroy my legal garden. Yeah, James, I'm sure. I spent the weekend gathering information. James connected me with his contractor friend, Tony. We met at a coffee shop Monday morning. So, you're the guy with the vegetable garden, Tony said. That's me. James said you might have information about Derek's addition. That guy's a piece of work. What he did was straight up illegal. Can you explain what he did wrong? Any addition over 120 square feet requires a permit. His is easily 200. Second, there are setback requirements, minimum distances from property lines. His violates the rear setback by at least 3 feet. Third, he didn't get electrical inspections. That's a huge safety issue. Would you be willing to provide a statement if needed? Absolutely. My sister works in city planning. If you want, I can have her make sure your complaint gets attention. That would be amazing. After meeting Tony, I went to City Hall and filed my complaint with photos, measurements, and detailed violation descriptions. The clerk, Sandra, reviewed my documentation. This is very thorough. We take unpermitted construction seriously. And if the violations are confirmed, the property owner will be required to obtain retroactive permits or remove the structure. There will also be fines, typically starting at $1,000 per violation. That afternoon, I had my garden inspection. The inspector, Robert, examined everything. I'm not seeing any violations. Residential vegetable gardens are permitted under city ordinance. You're well within limits. So there's no issue? None whatsoever. The complaint will be dismissed. I felt a wave of relief. Later, Mrs. Chen came over with her grandson, David. David wanted to see your garden, she said. It's really impressive, Mr. Yusuf, David said. Are you using companion planting? I am. The basil helps keep pests off the tomatoes. Speaking of Derek, I said, I found out his addition was built without permits. That's definitely bigger than the threshold, David said. I filed a complaint this morning, Mrs. Chen clapped. Good. That man needs to learn he can't bully people and break rules himself. The next day, Derek caught me getting my mail. I heard your inspection went fine. Lucky you. It wasn't luck, Derek. My garden is completely legal. For now. But I'm not done. I'll find something wrong with your property. Derek, why are you doing this? You exist in my line of sight, Yusuf. Your garden, your decorations, it doesn't fit. I kept my voice steady. I've been here 5 years. You've been here 6 months. Maybe you're the one who doesn't fit. His face reddened. Watch yourself. You have no idea who you're dealing with. I think you're a bully who uses threats and connections to push people around. But that stops now. Is that a threat? It's a promise. Every time you report me for made-up violations, I'm going to make sure your property gets the same scrutiny. Derek stepped closer. You're making a big mistake, Yusuf. I will make your life hell. You already tried. It didn't work. He stared at me, then walked away. Marcus called that evening. Yusuf, Derek's property is under investigation. The inspector's going out tomorrow. He's looking at serious fines and possibly having to tear down the addition. Good. He deserves it. Just be prepared. When people like Derek face consequences, they lash out. Watch your back. The inspector showed up at Derek's house the next morning. I was watering my garden when Derek came storming out. You did this. Did what, Derek? Code enforcement is here about my addition. You reported me. The inspector, a stern woman named Patricia, stepped out. Mr. Paulson, I need you to calm down. This is harassment. My neighbor is retaliating. I set down my hose. Your complaint about my legal garden was dismissed, Derek. This is about your illegal construction. There's nothing illegal about my addition. Patricia consulted her clipboard. Mr. Paulson, do you have permits for this construction? My contractor handled all that. There are no permits on file. Additionally, the structure appears to violate setback requirements and may have unpermitted electrical work. Derek's face went pale. There must be some mistake. There's no mistake. I'll need access to complete my inspection. Derek reluctantly led her inside. 20 minutes later, Patricia emerged with several pages of notes. Mr. Paulson, I've identified multiple violations. You'll need to either obtain retroactive permits or remove the unpermitted structure. How much is this going to cost me? The fines start at $1,000 per violation. I've documented 5 separate violations. You'll also need to hire a licensed contractor to address the electrical issues and the setback problem. Derek's voice rose to a shout. This is insane. That addition cost me $30,000. Then you should have obtained the proper permits, sir. After Patricia left, Derek turned on me with fury. You think you've won? I think you tried to abuse your connections to harass me, and it backfired. I'm going to sue you. Marcus, who had just arrived, stepped forward. Please do. I'm Yusuf's attorney. We'd be happy to countersue. Derek looked between us. Who are you? Marcus Chen, attorney at law. I've already prepared a file documenting your pattern of harassment toward my client. Mrs. Chen and James had come out to watch. We're witnesses, Mrs. Chen said. Derek's face was bright red. You're all against me. No, Derek, I said. We just expect people to follow the same rules they try to force on everyone else. Derek stepped forward aggressively. I swear, Yusuf, I will make your life a living nightmare. Are you threatening my client? Marcus asked, pulling out his phone. I'm recording this. Derek realized his mistake. I'm not threatening anyone. You just said you'd make his life a nightmare, in front of multiple witnesses. Derek looked around, realizing he was cornered. Then he shoved me. It wasn't hard, but it was enough to make me stumble. Derek, what are you doing? James shouted. Marcus stepped between us. Mr. Paulson, you just committed assault. I'm calling the police, Mrs. Chen announced. Derek's eyes went wide. Wait, no, I barely touched him. You assaulted my client, Marcus said. It was just a push. Come on, Yusuf, we can work this out. I rubbed my shoulder. I want him charged. This has gone too far. You can't be serious. You threatened me, harassed me, and now you've assaulted me. I'm done. The police arrived within 10 minutes. Officer Rodriguez took statements while her partner spoke with Derek. He's been harassing you for how long? Rodriguez asked. About 2 weeks. He filed a false complaint, admitted to using his brother-in-law to push it through, and has been threatening me. And today he pushed you? Yes, there are 3 witnesses. After speaking with everyone, the officer returned with Derek. Mr. Paulson would like to apologize. Derek's voice was shaky. Yusuf, I'm sorry, I lost control. Can we forget this? No, I said firmly. I said I'm sorry. Derek, you've made my life hell. You threatened me, harassed me, and assaulted me. An apology doesn't fix that. I'll drop everything, just don't press charges. Marcus stepped in. Officer, my client would like to proceed with charges. Derek turned desperate. Please, Yusuf, I'll lose my job with a criminal record. You should have thought about that before. The officer handed Derek a citation. You're being charged with simple assault. If you contact Mr. Yusuf or these witnesses, you'll face additional charges. It was one push. Sir, assault is assault. Over the next weeks, Derek was convicted and given probation, anger management classes, and a restraining order. The code enforcement case required him to tear down the addition. The fines totaled over $7,000. I was watering my garden when I saw Derek loading a moving truck. Mrs. Chen came over. He's selling the house. Between the legal fees, fines, and removing the addition, he's losing a fortune. Derek walked over, stopping short of the restraining order boundary. I hope you're happy, Yusuf. I'm just glad it's over. You destroyed my life over some stupid plants? No, you destroyed your own life. You could have been a good neighbor. Instead, you chose to be a bully. I was protecting my investment. By breaking the law, by harassing and assaulting your neighbors, that's just being a bad person. He stood there for a moment, then said, I hope your stupid garden dies, and walked away. Mrs. Chen shook her head. Some people never learn. A month later, a young couple with a baby moved in. They introduced themselves as Kevin and Amanda. We love your garden, Amanda said. Could you give us advice on starting our own? I'd be happy to, I told her. Kevin smiled. The previous owner left angry notes about the neighborhood, but everyone's been wonderful. I looked at my thriving garden, my supportive neighbors, and this nice new family. We're glad to have you, I said. That summer, my tomatoes produced better than ever. I shared them with the whole neighborhood. Mrs. Chen made salsa with my peppers. James helped me expand the garden. And Derek, I heard he moved to a condo with an HOA so strict they wouldn't even let him have a doormat. Some people really do get exactly what they deserve. What would you do if a neighbor tried to use illegal tactics against you? Have you ever had to stand up to a bully? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe for more real-life revenge stories.